Alright, so with this play, I want to show you guys a few things that I really feel like are going to hinder Locomotion in Madden. First thing I want to show you is a common strategy in Madden, the quarterback rollout. You see I can roll out in All-Pro Football. It affects the throw. Just watch the whole play here from Joe Theismann's perspective. But something I want to come up here and show you guys is critical to gameplay to me. Here you see Steve Tasker lined up on a linebacker. The linebacker clearly larger than him. I mean, Steve Tasker, not a big guy. Probably one of the smaller players to have played. You see here when Tasker makes his cut, you can see the linebacker reacts afterwards, as if he watches Tasker and then reacts to him. Now, you see they interact with the players crossing the field. Nobody really gets held up all that much. You can see I've already completed my rollout with my quarterback back here. I have to stop and set my feet and then throw a lobbing pass that Steve Tasker has to go and reach to get. Now, the linebacker in this case is given one of two options by the game. You either go for the pass deflection or you allow the catch to happen to make a tackle. Period. You can't do both. With Madden, you get a lot of the piggyback animations. You get a lot of players that will go for a pass deflection and then lunge right into a tackle. In this game, 99% of the time, it's one or the other. In this case, the linebacker goes for a pass deflection. When he misses the ball, I mean, however close this is, I mean, and some people can say, oh, you know, it was just determined to be a catch and that's what happened. Well, whatever the case, to me, that shows me that the ball isn't going to just miraculously bounce out of my hands or anything like that, because the linebacker at any point here is inches away from batting this pass down. So now, I'm in the open field. I've got one player to beat, the safety. I decide to run forward and execute a spin move. The defender never changes his path of direction in pursuing me. My spin move ultimately just means I get hit lower, harder. To me, the issue with Locomotion, you can bring this up in Madden, you can implement it into the game however you want. To me, in Madden, the defender has always moved just as much as the offensive player, which is never the way it should be. So here you see, whether you want to say, well, he didn't just fall for it, or whatever the case, the defender doesn't awkwardly change his direction based on the spin. He keeps his eyes, he keeps his focus, he keeps his pursuit lane constant to the player he's attempting to tackle. And you can see the only thing that gets altered is where the tackle takes place and how the tackle takes place. Obviously, before the spin, they were lined up to hit chest to chest. After the spin, they're lined up so that the safety can tackle him with an arm tackle down low. Now we're going to go and see how this reacts in Madden. Before we do that, I just want to play this at one time at speed from Steve Tasker's perspective. Alright, Madden 10, play this from Peyton Manning's perspective. Very similar play in terms of where the ball was being thrown. Unfortunately, there's kind of a rollout mixed in with a fake handoff here. But you can really see how clunky and unsmooth this game plays. I mean, this turn right here that Manning does is a prime example. But to me, that's neither here nor there. The problem with this Locomotion is going to be you're adding more animations. You're giving the offense more control, and the defense already has a very hard time reacting to the game as it is. So first thing we'll start off with is Austin Collie. He makes his cut. The defender reacts afterwards. I definitely like that. That's exactly the way it should be. Now the problem comes in once the ball is thrown on the rollout. You see there's Manning in the back, and for some reason when he throws the ball, both pursuing linebacker and cornerback over here decide to stop. They just stop dead in their tracks and move backwards and then re-pursue. So again, if we're going to implement more animations and more user control of the offense, the defense really needs to be up to par, because now this has changed the pursuit angles of both of these players, who at this point were the closest to making a play on the ball, or Collie should he would catch it. So now after he's made the catch, going to see how he reacts. First of all, up here you see this pirouette by this defender to come down and try to make the tackle. Again, he's not looking at the ball carrier for a majority of this in terms of procedural awareness. The path he takes is not one continuous solid path. And what happens is, as Gonzalez goes to execute a spin move, you can see it affects the defensive back long before it affects Collie. You can see there's the spin move, okay, and now the defensive back really doesn't know what to do. The game can't handle Austin Collie putting a spin move on the safety at this point in the game. So what happens is they kind of motion shift through each other, and then an exaggerated missed tackle on the opposite side that he should have been grabbing to begin with, and then he tries to gain his balance and run back. So to me, if I'm going to have more control, this is just a simple one-button spin, and this is what it does to the secondary. Now, maybe it's a moot point because 21 and 25 were here to clean up the play, but the issue is these two would have been a lot closer had they not had to do this stuff in order to react to the play. So this is the stuff that makes me wonder, you know, what adding all kinds of offensive control is going to bring when the defense really as a whole can't seem to handle the game right now with its very elementary animations. So I'm going to play this at one time at speed from Collie and just, you know, compare how smooth this game is with All Pro Football. I mean, this game is very clunky. It's almost as if these players have a grid to run on, and they have to run on these awkward 90-degree grids at all times. So, to me, a very good example of how All Pro Football replicates Madden better. This isn't meant to bash Madden. This is just to show you there's no excuse for this game to be acting this way when a game 4 years and 6 years older than it replicates football better.